It is a sea of red here in Lincoln. You know, they pack so many people here inside Memorial Stadium. They call this place the third largest city in Nebraska. They've sold out every home game since 1962, and over 80,000 are here to watch their Nebraska Cornhuskers take on the Michigan State Spartans. Hello, everybody. I'm Brian Custer alongside my partner, Ben Lever. He played 10 years in the National Football League. And partner, you know, the Scott Frost era didn't begin the way he envisioned. The Cornhuskers started the season 0-6, but they have quickly turned things around. They've won 3 of their last 4, in part because of that dynamic offense.
Yeah, it should be no surprise. New coach, new staff, new X's and O's. It's going to take a team a while to get going and gel. But like you said, as of late, they're gelling and playing much faster, especially running the football. It all starts with the quarterback, Adrian Martinez. It's nice to have him as a bonus runner. But really, the difference maker is running back Divine Ozigbo. He's normally known as a power runner between the tackles, breaking tackles, but lately he's found the extra gear to hit the edge and then get out in the open field and take it to the house.
Now, you know, the Spartans had high hopes to win a Big Ten championship this season, but they were quickly derailed by a rash of injuries, especially on the offensive end. But head coach Mark D'Antonio believes if the Spartans can win out, they could possibly be playing in the New Year's Day bowl game.
Well, they've got a great chance to win out the regular season. What happens after that, we don't know. But, you know, when you typically think of Michigan State, you think of strong defense and a great defense. And this year is no exception. #1 in the nation at stopping the run. And we talk about great defenses. Where does it start? Well, it always starts up front, and they've got a good one. And defensive end, Kenny Willekes. He is fast, he's aggressive, he's instinctful. He's the Big Ten leader in tackle for loss. It's going to take an effort from him and an effort from his front 7 to stop this Nebraska offense.
This will be the first meeting in 3 years between the Huskers and the Spartans. The kick is coming up, but first, here's the Progressive Insurance Game Countdown. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. Here in Lincoln, 28 degrees, but the wind blowing at 22 miles per hour. You can see the flag. Feels like it's 13 here in Lincoln. The forecast calls for some flurries here later on in the afternoon. It's Senior Day here in Lincoln. 19 seniors honored before today's game. Let's go down to the field, and the third member of our broadcast team, here's Alex Curry.
Yeah, moments ago, Nebraska honored their 19 seniors before their final home game here of the season. Now, when I spoke to head coach Scott Frost, he said there was extra meaning honoring this group because they were a big reason that this season got turned around. He said after the rough start, he was approached by the captains who said something needed to change. And after that conversation, a darkness was lifted. The culture changed. Their attitude changed. Everyone got on the same page. And he gives a lot of credit to that senior group. They have now won 3 of their last 4 games. He said everyone has fun playing with and for each other, and that is the culture that Frost wants to build in this Nebraska program. So as the seniors take the field for their final time here at Memorial Stadium, senior linebacker and team captain Luke Gifford said they want to be remembered as a group that set the foundation, guys, that turned this program in the right direction.
All right, Alex, yeah, you're right. Coach Frost says it was all about changing the culture here in Nebraska, and that's what they did here, especially mid-season and his first season. And you talk about sellouts here. Over 80,000 here. 368 straight sellouts at Memorial Stadium. NCAA record. They have, again, sold out every home game since 1962.
I had a chance to play here when I was at Kansas State a couple times, and we never won here, but I tell you what, it is one of the best venues in all of college football. Even in the down years, these fans will come out and support, and they're coming out to support these seniors on Senior Day.
Yeah, that tunnel walk that they make when they entered here is one of the best scenes in college football. Michigan State won the toss, but they have opted to defer. So we're going to see the Nebraska offense first, and you know what? Nebraska, especially early on, have been very successful in their first possessions.
Well, they've been on fire. You know, they have a chance now to go 7 consecutive opening drives when they receive the opening kickoff and take it to the house for a touchdown. So they've done that 6 times already. Let's see if they can do that a 7th.
Cole Haan is going to be kicking things away for Michigan State. And back deep, Maurice Washington, the freshman out of Stockton, California, standing in his own end zone. Nebraska coming off of a victory over Illinois. Michigan State coming off of a loss to Ohio State last week. And expect big boy football here in Lincoln, especially with the weather, the wind. The running game is going to play a big part.
Well, I think that's the way it's going to play out. You know, it's going to be mano-a-mano, tough on tough. When Nebraska has the football, they're 4th in the Big Ten in rushing, and they're getting better each and every week. And like I said in the open, Michigan State's defense, the best in the country, stopping the run.
We're on the way here in Lincoln. Washington from his own 15. Crossed the 20 and pushed out of bounds at his own 23. So here comes the freshman, Adrian Martinez. He was the Big Ten Freshman of the Week last week. With his outing against Illinois, it's the 2nd straight week he's won that honor. He has already set freshman records for passing yards and touchdown passes. Divine Ozigbo in the backfield. And it's Ozigbo. He gets the first carry. He powers his way and falls down forward. Andrew Dowell makes the stop. And of course, Scott Frost back at his alma mater, first season. Here's the head coach at Nebraska. That 3-7 record. And what a job he did at UCF, who's still unbeaten. 2017 Coach of the Year. Swing pass to Ozigbo. He drops it.
Well, you see sort of the hallmark of Scott Frost in his offense. He's going to mess with tempo, and they think that's really going to benefit them going against a Michigan State defense that they have the ability to slow things down if they need to, but then especially after big plays, after picking up first downs, they're going to run with tempo and try to catch the defense off guard.
They're looking at 3rd and 5 here. Nebraska 9th in the Big Ten on 3rd down. They convert about 37% of them. Stanley Morgan, he's at the top of your screen in the slot. He swings that one out to Cade Warner. Warner across the 30. And it is right there at the first down marker. And the Big Red got a first down. Ben, let's talk about key to the game for the Huskers.
Well, I still think they're going to try to run the football, but I think I'm going to give the edge to the Michigan State defense. So I think they'd have to showcase the guys on the outside, specifically Morgan and Spielman. But Spielman, so far right now, is not going to play in this ballgame.
Here's Martinez, rolls, throws. That's incomplete. It was intended for Warner. Cade Warner. Yes, he's the son of the NFL Hall of Famer, Kurt Warner. Former walk-on out of Scottsdale. He's a redshirt freshman.
Well, and you can see now what Nebraska is trying to do. Yes, they want to establish a run game, but they're not afraid of this weather and of the wind to throw the football. Scott Frost told us that I have all the faith. I know that Adrian Martinez can really spin it. He throws a tight spiral. He throws in the elements really well, so it's not going to change our game plan at all.
Martinez keeps it. Kenny Willekes makes the stop for the Spartans.
Well, and that's a guy that you're going to have to account for each and every time. Willekes, again, the Big Ten leader in tackle for loss with 17. Now make that his 18th tackle for loss. You know, he's a guy that is just quick. It's a nonstop motor. He's got a great inside move. He often plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and you saw that just there.
Morgan is at the bottom of your screen here on 3rd and 11. They swing that one out to Ozigbo. Breaks one tackle and then knocked down by Raekwon Williams.
Well, you just notice right off the bat, I talk about how good the Michigan State defense is at stopping the run, but watch the pursuit by all the white jerseys. That quick three-step look to the outside, get the ball out quick, and watch all the white jerseys just fly to the football. You know, you can make up a lot of deficiencies and misfits and miscommunication if you just get to the ball when the ball is thrown out there.
Isaac Armstrong will punt things away for the Cornhuskers. Low punt. I think that one might have gotten tipped or blocked. Someone got a hand on that one. So Michigan State will start from their own 35 after a 28-yard punt. No score here in Lincoln. Welcome back to Lincoln. Over 80,000 here inside Memorial Stadium. No score. Michigan State first offensive series, and the redshirt freshman Rocky Lombardi getting his second career start. And the first carry right up the middle to Connor Hayward. And he picks up about 5. Carlos Davis makes the stop for the Huskers.
Well, this is offense for Michigan State. We don't know what we're going to see here. They've really struggled to run the football. They've had some injuries. They've had a guy transfer in Madre London last spring. They haven't thrown the ball effectively as well, but you can see right off the get, they want to attack this Nebraska defensive front and run downhill.
Hayward leads the team in rushing. No L.J. Scott, that ankle injury. He's only played 4 games. He's going to redshirt and come back next year. Lombardi kept it and paid for it. Mohamed Berry makes the stop.
Well, the team leader in tackles this year, Mohamed Berry, very patient on that play, stringing that thing out there and making the tackle.
Mark D'Antonio, 12th season at Michigan State. Second most wins in school history. You know, he's the only Big Ten coach to win multiple Big Ten titles, win a Rose Bowl, and coach in the college football playoffs. 3rd and 4 from Lombardi. They go 5 wide. And it throw, it's complete, and it's a first down to Darrell Stewart. Stewart's one of those guys who's been steady for him all season long. He's a junior out of Houston.
Well, you're going to see him at the bottom of your skin. It's just an option route. He's going to read that inside defender. Now, if the inside defender is going to sit to his inside, then he's going to break it back to the outside. If he jumps him and goes to the outside, he's going to break it to the inside. So good read by him to feel that presence of that linebacker and pick up that first down.
They'll go with their jumbo package, 2 tight ends. Hayward, the only running back. He gets the call, and it's right up the middle. And there goes Hayward. Pulled down at the 25 by Lamar Jackson, but not before Hayward rumbles for 27 yards.
You're going to see a lot of this from Michigan State. Watch Matt Sokol, the tight end. He's the guy that's going to give that misdirection look, get a nice little seal on the edge defender, and it's all just a straight downhill for Hayward. That's the thing with this Nebraska defense. They struggle sometimes when you put motion and misdirection in front of them. Their eye discipline hasn't been great, and that open field tackling has been a little suspect too.
Hard to believe just last week, Michigan State ran the football just 18 times. That's the fewest for a Michigan State squad since 2006, and only racked up 54 yards. And they're already halfway there on just a couple of carries. Hayward again. Berry makes the stop. In case you're wondering, Hayward is the son of the late Craig Ironhead. Hayward, who played for the Saints, and his brother Cam, of course, plays for the Steelers right now.
Well, and he sort of runs with that tenacity that his dad ran with as well. Not quite as big, but every bit as powerful.
2nd down and 7 from the Huskers 23. Lombardi rolls, throws, and that one's complete to the outside. And that's Laurice Nelson. Let's talk about the Spartans. What's the key for them?
Well, as I mentioned, I feel like Nebraska's defense has struggled a little bit when they're in open field. They overrun things. They don't take great angles. So I think the key for Michigan State is get the ball out in open space and force this Nebraska defense to break down, to play disciplined football, because they really struggled there.
First down for the Spartans. Now at the 16-yard line. Again, they go with two tight ends. Lombardi throws to the corner, too high. He was looking for the tight end, Matt Dotson.
Well, he had him. They love to look at tight ends in and around the red zone, and they just get, it's just going to be one of these little flag routes to the outside. We call it a 7 route. He plays the proper leverage, fields a defender on the inside, breaks it to the outside. You see Lombardi, who was very accurate on the pass before, just put that one just a touch too high.
No Brian Lewerke. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury. Michigan State 5th in the Big Ten in red zone offense. Cam Hayward caught right behind the line of scrimmage by Trey Neal. He's the senior out of Atlanta.
You're going to see him come off this side over here on the left side. Number 14 is a safety spot. It's just a blitz on the outside. The blocking scheme does not account for him, so he gets to be the free rusher. He just has to be disciplined on his angles. He takes a nice angle on his upfield shoulder, does a nice job there on the sure tackle.
Let's see what happens here. 3rd and 10. You know, Michigan State last in the Big Ten on 3rd down and converting. Nebraska's defense, well, they're basically 12th in the Big Ten. Here's Lombardi, pressure, has to get rid of it. Luke Gifford applied the pressure.
They just bring just a 5th guy in here, but it's going to be the pressure on the outside where Lombardi feels the inside pressure. I got to get out of there. But it was a nice rush discipline on the outside, knowing that, hey, I've got to keep contained by Gifford, knowing that if he feels the pressure on the inside, he may just come right to me, and that's exactly what happened.
So here comes Matt Conklin, the sophomore out of Cincinnati, for the field goal. It'd be from 34 yards out. This guy is first in Michigan State history in converting field goals at 83%, and he is money. So the Spartans strike first with the field goal, but Nebraska's defense with a key stop. 3-0 our score here in Lincoln. Hey, Johnny, the Jet Rogers getting honored here on the field. One of the 3 Heisman Trophy winners here in Nebraska, along with Mike Rozier and Eric Crouch. And you know, Mike Rozier is going to be honored as well.
Yeah, they're both here, and boy, he got a nice ovation. He was jumping up and down. He got a little hype down there, the Jet.
He's trying to stay warm.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah,
it's cold here, man. Gohan kicking things away, and it goes out of bounds. That'll be a flag. So the Huskers will be set up in pretty good shape here.
Free kick out of bounds by the kicking team. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Dan Capron, our referee. Let's get a quick game break. Here's Greg Wolf.
Brian, thanks. Ohio State hosting Michigan on Fox next week. Perhaps looking ahead early on against Maryland. Opening series of the game, Anthony McFarland ran for 210 yards last week against Indiana. This goes for 81 yards. He's added a 75-yard touchdown since the Terps.
For Adrian Martinez in Nebraska, their second offensive series. Martinez. Incomplete. He was looking for Stanley Morgan. He had him open.
Yeah, he had him open, and I wonder, not only did he not get a lot of juice on it, but as you can see from the flagpoles, he's throwing into the wind, and that ball goes sideways like that. I wonder if the wind just sort of pushed that a little bit more than he wanted to. He has to account for that. And as much as Scott Frost says, I got a lot of faith in his arm strength, his ability to spin it, you still have to adjust for this wind.
Yeah, you know, he said that Martinez can throw a really tight spiral here in the wind. Martinez hurt his knee. There's someone who jumped. We'll get a false start here. Had to push him back to about the 30. That's on Brendan Hymas. He's a sophomore out of Austin.
Well, I know it goes without saying, it's pretty cliche, but especially against this defense, you can't have any self-inflicted wounds. Don't put yourself in second long, third long, because this defense is awfully fast, they're confusing, they can get after you.
2nd and 15. Martinez. Pressure. Escapes. He's got some running room. Joe Bacci pushes him out of bounds.
Well, just watch the front four. Whenever you have a defense that you can just rush the front four, you don't have to bring an extra blitzer, a 5th or 6th guy, and you can do that and make a quarterback uncomfortable. I know he picks up yardage, but that's a big win for this defense because they now can have 7 guys in coverage and have faith that their front four is going to get there.
3rd and 5. Martinez. A run. First down. Cross midfield. And he fumbles the football. But it goes out of bounds. David Dowell makes the stop. But not before Martinez picks up 19 yards.
It's just quarterback draw. They get the center up to the 2nd level. They get a hat on a hat, and then you see David Dowell finishing the tackle there. But the ball, luckily for Nebraska, goes out of bounds. But that's the hidden element. So that's the hidden element to what Martinez brings. Yes, he can spin it. Yes, he can throw it, but he can also run it. Not only just scrambling and extending plays, but they can call quarterback run game, and you saw that just happen there and hurt the Michigan State defense.
This is Washington. His first carry. He's brought down at about the 40-yard line. Washington's a freshman.
And they're saying, Michigan State's saying the ball came out. As there's no indication right now from the referees. You can see a lot of Michigan State players saying, hey, that's our ball. Let's take a look at it here. Oh, that ball is out.
That ball was out.
That ball is out.
Let's see if they'll ask for a review here. But that one was definitely out.
Was there a clear recovery, though, by Michigan State?
Yes, and here it comes from the booth.
So 2 plays in a row, ball carriers for Nebraska put the ball on the ground. This one is clearly a fumble.
Charge timeout, Michigan State, for the purposes of challenging the ruling on the field, of whether the ball carrier was down.
So Mark D'Antonio wants to challenge it. He wants them to take a look at it. The Spartans up 3-0 in the first quarter. Welcome back to Lincoln. As we just had a timeout, they did rule that there was a fumble, but they said because they couldn't determine who clearly recovered it, it's going to be 2nd down for Nebraska. Let's bring in our rules expert, Dean Blandino. Dean, what does that mean? They couldn't determine who clearly recovered.
Yeah, there's 2 parts to this play. The officials ruled the runner down. It's clearly a fumble. You can see that there. But now the second part, you have to determine who recovered the football. And a player coming out of the pile with it is not a clear recovery. You have to see who recovered it. It went into a pile. Ruling on the field stands.
All right, Dean, thank you very much. Swings that one out to Ozigbo. And Ozigbo. There's Washington. Pardon me, and it's close to the 30-yard line.
Well, a very well-coached Michigan State team. Now, they almost had the ball come out a 3rd time. Watch at the end of this play, and Josiah Scott, number 22, the corner, watch him attack this ball on the tackle. See how he tried to rip it out with his left hand? They understand in cold weather elements, it's awfully hard to hold on to a cold football with cold fingers.
Ozigbo checks back in for the Huskers. He's got the call. Right side, and he got back to the line of scrimmage, and that is about it. And once again, Joe Bacci, a name that we will call throughout the day with the stop.
Well, he's a good-looking linebacker. I tell you what, I mean, you talk about old school and throwback and one of those type of guys, well, he fits all of that, checks all of those boxes. I knew he'd be out here like a lot of these other guys with no sleeves on. I see he's got the little arm brace on, the elbow pad on there, but he's a tough-nosed, old-school linebacker that's going to run downhill, and he's awfully smart. Another quarterback on the field for these
3 tackles already as they set up the screen, and it's too high for Ozigbo.
Well, and that's about the only thing that seems to be working. We saw a quarterback draw out of Martinez with some success, but then after that, it's been all horizontal passing game on the outside.
So 3rd and 10 for the Huskers from the Spartans 32-yard line. There's Stanley Morgan. He's in the slot there at the bottom of your screen. The option, the pitch, Ozigbo. Brought down by Brandon Boyer-Randall.
Man, just watch the speed by Boyer-Randall. Number 26 is going to come flying right when the pitch is made. Watch him come right now. See him run down the line? He just comes out of nowhere. The play design was perfect. They got Willikis as the key on the outside. It was a good pitch. And then Boyer-Randall comes over and makes a nice tackle to force 4th down.
4th and 5 here, Ben, and they're going to go for it. Nebraska on the season last in the Big Ten on 4th down conversions. Martinez. Incomplete. Looks like he was just trying to float that one to Ozigbo.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think he was trying to get to Ozigbo, excuse me. So 4th down stop for Michigan State. When we come back, Michigan State's offense is going to take over.
Three to nothing our score. 4 minutes left here in the first quarter. I think the Grinch. Some good seats here in Memorial.
Is there something I don't know about? What does a horse and a Grinch have to do with each other? Or is that even a horse?
Here's Lombardi. Down the sideline, he was looking for Cody White.
You know, I sort of like the play call on 1st down. Why not just throw it to your best guy on the outside? Just a straight vertical route, a go route on the outside. You get the nice one-on-one coverage. And it was awfully close to a big play on 1st down for Michigan State.
Cody White right now their leading receiver for the Spartans. Darius Jefferson has checked into the backfield. And it's Jefferson who gets the carry. That's right up the middle.
Well, they have found something with the interior of their offensive line. They like the matchup right now going against Nebraska's defense. I would imagine you could probably do the same thing. You're going to see a personnel change. They're going to go a little bit lighter, make it look like it's going to be a passing situation, but you could probably run right through the heart of this defense and pick up the 1st down.
Michigan State's offense last in the Big Ten on 3rd down. So far today, 50%, 1 of 2. Here's Lombardi. Bunch set at the bottom of your screen. Throws. It's too low. Intended for Darrell Stewart. Antonio Reed with the coverage for the Huskers.
Well, not only was it too low, it was too late. Darrell Stewart ran the route the way he was supposed to, on time, just a little curl route. He just has to see it and throw it sooner. He had a little bit of the separation he's looking for, but it just allowed the defender, because of that bad read and the slow read, to make a play on the football.
So William Prista be punting away. You know, Michigan State is the only team in the FBS who have used 5 different punters this season. Here's Stanley Morgan. And Morgan across the 20, the 30, and run out of bounds and hit late. You can hear the crowd's reaction to that hit. As they get another look. Three to nothing our score here. Stanley Morgan took the punt. No flag called, even though he was hit while he was out of bounds. Here's Martinez. Back to pass. Takes a hit as he throws it. It's complete to Cade Warner. And Warner picks up about 4.
Well, you can see throwing from the left hash and throwing all the way to the right. Again, with the wind, that ball just floated out there. Warner was wide open. He had some green grass in front of him, but just the fact that that ball floated and took so long to get there allowed Michigan State to rally and make the play.
There's a first down to Warner again. He's across midfield, fumbles the football. It's loose.
Boy, it looked like Nebraska jumped on it. So they're going to try to figure out this tangled mess here. No, there it is.
It's Spartan football, and we got a flag.
Recovered by Michigan State.
You see right there, Andrew Dow. It's the birthday boy. Him and his twin brother, David, celebrating their 22nd birthday yesterday.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Michigan State. It will be their ball, first down. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Michigan State, number 93, 15-yard penalty. That was number 93's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
So the penalty on Naquan Jones, the sophomore, that's the 10th fumble loss by Nebraska this season. That's tied for the most in the Big Ten.
Well, it was Andrew Dow that caused the fumble. And again, this Michigan State defense is attacking the football. They're not necessarily attacking the player, they're attacking the football. This is the third time now Nebraska has put the ball on the ground. And again, it's so frustrating for them because I think Nebraska's starting to figure out that pass right there was exactly what they need. Not so much all the horizontal stuff. Hit the seams, the ball's going to get there quicker, and you can get more. You can get vertical faster.
Well, here we go. Hayward hit at the line of scrimmage, picks up a couple. Muhammad Berry brings him down.
Well, and this is where Nebraska, I think they need to do the same thing defensively. The last 3 games, they forced 11 turnovers, and 6 of which are forced fumbles. So they know how to attack the football as well. They got to take a page out of Michigan State's defense and do the same thing to Michigan State's offense.
2 minutes left here in the first quarter. Hayward gets the carry again. Hayward again up the middle. And he's met about a yard shy of a first down by Aaron Williams, the senior out of Atlanta, with the stick.
Boy, watch Aaron Williams. He's going to be right here on the edge of your screen. Watch him on contact. Just buckle. Ooh. Just buckled him right there. Man, that's a great hit.
3rd and 1 now for the Spartans. From their own 41. They go 2 tight ends. Hayward falls forward. And that should be enough for a first down.
Boy, Muhammad Berry was so close to making a play in the backfield. Shot his gap. Just got a little bit off kilter, didn't have his balance to make the play on a big, strong running back in Hayward, and Hayward does just enough to push his big body forward and pick up that first down.
So Hayward now with 48 yards rushing. Michigan State now has 67 yards rushing. And listen, the Spartans have lost 6 of their last 7 games when they've rushed for fewer than 100 yards, but they've won 9 straight when they've gone over the 100-yard mark on the ground. And they go to the air to Cody White. He overthrows him.
Well, that's twice now on first down that they're attacking the corners with Cody White. Again, it's just a straight vertical route. You've got to win. You got to put the ball on the outside. But just like throwing into the wind, you have to adjust when you've got the wind at your back. And that's a couple times now where Lombardi's floated the football a little bit too far, put a little bit too much juice on it, and the wind takes over and pushes it away from the receiver.
That was Lamar Jackson with the coverage. He's having his best season so far. No picks, but as you can see, the reason why. Darius Jefferson in the backfield for the Spartans. And Lombardi keeps it. Maybe a couple. It looks like that will probably be the last play of this quarter. Well, the Spartans going to call a timeout here.
Well, I love how fast both defenses are playing. That time you get Muhammad Berry on the front side of that option to take everything away. Forces Lombardi to have to stop his feet, try to misdirection and cut back. But then it was DiCaprio Boodle on the back side of the defense screaming down laterally to come down and make a play.
This wind blowing at 22 miles per hour. Hey, make sure you stay tuned to Fox, because next up, USC battles their crosstown rival, UCLA. We got number 4 Michigan taking on Indiana on FS1 at 4 Eastern. All that and more coming up. It's later today on Fox, FS1, or you can watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app. Third down. Michigan State called that timeout. They wanted the wind to die down a little bit. Let's see if they take this one through the air. 3rd and 7.
There's Cody White. There's their go-to guy.
Lombardi up top. In and out of the hands of the tight end, Matt Dotson. He had it.
Oh, he had it too. Nice play design, 3-by-1 formation. They get everything that they need, and he wins the route. And that ball, again, just a little bit off his fingertips. I'm going to put that one more on Lombardi than Dotson, because that ball was just a little bit too far out of his reach.
So here's William Pristup. Morgan at his own 11. And he boots that one back at the end zone. This is the 11th meeting between Michigan State and Nebraska. Last meeting was 3 years ago on November 7th. Nebraska won that one 39-38. By the way, first meeting between these two, 1914. Nebraska won that one 24-0.
You know, I was surprised to see that 1914. A long, long time ago, because
isn't that something? 55-yard punt. Here's the Huskers from their own 25 for 20. Here's Martinez, plenty of time. He throws it away. That's the end of the quarter as Martinez took a hit from Kenny Willekes. 3-0. Our score here in Lincoln. Second quarter when we come back. Welcome back. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. Brian Custer with Ben Lieber. Alex Curry with us on the sideline. Dean Blandino, our rules expert in our LA studios. 26 degrees here in Lincoln, but it feels more like 11 with the wind. 88,793 here at a frosty Memorial Stadium. 2nd and 10. Martinez, 5 wide. That's it. That's complete to Zigbo. And he's about a yard shy of a first down.
just a quick hitting stop route on the outside. You see Nebraska now playing with tempo. Lined up as a #1 receiver. Everybody plays off. Nice little easy pitch and catch.
They say it's a first down. Stanley Morgan, their leading receiver. In fact, he's second in Nebraska history when it comes to career catches. He's been targeted just once. Here's Ozigbo. He falls forward. Let's go down to the field. Now it's Curry. Alex?
Yeah, Nebraska's missing a big part of their offense today with J.D. Spielman out with an ankle injury. Now, I spoke to J.D. before the game, who said he thought he was going to be able to run at full speed, but when he didn't feel comfortable at full speed, he didn't think it was right for him to stay in. It was smarter to get someone in there who could do it, and right now he said he is day-to-day, guys.
Yeah, Spielman injured that ankle in the third quarter against Illinois last week. Fumble, sack, picked up by Willekes. Mike Panashuk delivered the hit that caused the fumble. And once again, this Michigan State defense.
Well, it was the disruption by Panashuk right there with the push and pull. You see Willekes come up with the football. Again, this defensive front can get after with just a four-man rush. So technically sound. They play so well with their hands, and they all play fast. They don't ever stop. This Nebraska offensive line, as much as it's gotten better, is going to have their hands full if you get this defense feeling it like they're feeling it right now.
Hey, Michigan State's defense has given up just 3 points in the last 4 first quarters. Darius Jefferson got that carry. Khalil Davis with the stop.
Well, that's what you want to see out of your defense now for Nebraska is sudden change. How do your guys respond after sudden change, a turnover? You can't hang your head. You got to grab your helmet as fast as you can off the sidelines, get out on the field, and you have to rise up and start this offense. And these guys up front here now for Nebraska are responding in the right way.
Hayward in the backfield. Lombardi under center. And he's giving it to him, and Luke Gifford comes flying through there and makes the stop.
We've got a flag at the end of the play, a little extracurricular. You're going to see Gifford right here on the left side of your screen. Shoots it on the inside and does a good job of just redirecting and getting back vertical. Sometimes it's so hard to shoot down inside like that. Get your hips turned back up the field to make the play. We're going to find out now what this unsportsmanlike is all
After
about.
the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 7. The penalty is enforced half the distance to the goal with an automatic first down.
They're going to call that on Muhammad Berry. He leads the team in tackles. Let's take a look here, Ben.
Well, there's going to see Berry, number 7, comes right over the top, all right? And then we get a Michigan State offensive lineman, just absolute body slam.
I don't know about that.
Oh, man.
I mean, this is football.
I don't know about that. I don't like that call at all.
I mean, it is football.
I mean, he's there to protect his guy, and he didn't do anything egregious in my mind to warrant a flag.
So now the Spartans have 1st and 10 from the Huskers 12. Hayward cuts back and upended right at the line of scrimmage. Antonio Reed.
And I talked about earlier, this defense has had a problem with some discipline. You can see over here on this side of the screen, Antonio Reed is just going to play where his area. When the ball goes away, no reason to chase when you're on the backside. You stay home. Stay where you're supposed to be. A lot of times the ball's going to come bouncing right to you, and he does everything that he's supposed to do in that play and makes a nice stop for Nebraska.
They give him a pickup of 1. Michigan State had 54 total yards rushing last week. They've already got 57. And here's Hayward. And again over that right side. He falls forward for a few more. Muhammad Berry makes the stop, and we're looking at 3rd down again.
Well, and Muhammad Berry, he always plays fast and strong each and every week, but he is really rising up. You can see him getting the crowd into this thing. Does such a good job in that one particular play of playing off the block, using his hands, keeping his body free to make the tackle and force a 3rd down.
Spartans are 2 for 5 on 3rd down thus far. They're looking at 3rd and 6. From the Huskers 7, Cody White, he's at the top of your screen.
We've got no safeties deep for Nebraska.
The throw to the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Dotson, and it was broken up by Trey Neal.
Boy, and Lombardi is just a little off when he's throwing the football right now. The concepts are there. They're winning where they're supposed to win.
And we got a late flag, Ben, in the end zone.
They're conferring right now on the field as we speak about what the infraction is going to be.
Let's find out from Dan Capron.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense, number 89. 15-yard penalty, 4th down.
So it's on Dotson, who the pass was intended for.
Yeah, let's take a look. I didn't catch this the first time. There's the incomplete pass. You get a little trash talking, which is fine. Okay. I mean, I don't know, man. Unless there's something that he said. I mean, there are certain key words that they're looking for and listening for. Unless more of those things are said, it certainly wasn't by his physical action.
So this is going to be from 41 yards out from Matt Coughlin into the wind. He's so far 14 for 16 on field goals. Longest 49 this season. And that one hits the crossbar. Spartans get the turnover, but no points as they come up empty on the field goal. 3-0. Still our score here in Lincoln. 3-0 our score here in the second quarter here in Nebraska. And let's see what this Nebraska offense can do. They have given up the football twice now. 2 fumbles, but the Spartans have yet to capitalize. No points. Here's Martinez to a wide open Jake Stoll. And they say incomplete.
We're going to see Stoll in motion here. He's going to be the motion guy. He's going to become the #1 receiver. It's just a go route. They're really going to challenge that corner to use his vision to see him. And you can see the disappointment by Martinez because the ball was delivered on time where it was supposed to be. But these guys have to battle through these elements as receivers and catch some of these footballs.
And Nebraska's got to stop beating themselves.
They absolutely do. Now, I got to give credit, though, to Michigan State. They're attacking the football on the ball carriers.
2nd and 10. Run pass option is complete as he makes the completion to Jake Stoll. And that time it is enough for a first down.
Well, again, I'll go back to the Cade Warner fumble previously. It was a very similar pass. Attack the hash marks, attack the seams. I think this wind is having a factor as they're throwing the ball on the outside. I think these quick hitting passes in the middle of the football field is the key against this defense.
Zigbo with the carry. Cuts back to the middle. David Dowell makes the stop. And we got another little fracas.
Boy, it is getting chippy out here. It's Jacob Panashuk, the brother of Mike, involved in that play as well with Jack Stoll.
Yeah, Stoll. Panashuk. Second and 5. And here's a flag.
False start. Offense. Number 56. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's on Bo Wilson. He's the sophomore out of Missouri.
All right, this is one of those situations where you like your defense to play hot like this. This is great, but as offensive players, you don't want these guys to play like this. You want some urgency, but you can't play upset and mad. You got to contain yourself and regroup.
Martinez. Play fake. Throw over the middle. Down too deep. Nearly intercepted by Justin Lane.
And I think we may have a roughing the passer as well. A flag thrown in the area after the ball was thrown.
It might be on Raekwon Williams. He's the one who delivered the hit.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Well, just like I said for the offense, you need to calm down a little bit and you can't play upset. Well, now the same thing can be said for defense. You know, Raekwon Williams, number 99, right in the middle of your screen, getting a good vertical push. Ball comes out. Oh. I'm not so sure they didn't call that on the right guy. He wasn't really involved in the hit as much as it was Willikis, with more of a helmet-to-helmet hit on the quarterback.
3 penalties for Michigan State, all personal fouls on them for 15 yards. That's Zigbo with the carry.
Well, and I'll go back again just to the play call itself. The plays that have worked, quick hitting plays. these longer developing plays like that was, where Martinez is rolling to his left and a long throwback to the right, I just don't think you want to give this defensive front that much time with the quarterback holding onto the ball.
2nd and 9 now from the Spartan 49. That one way outside.
I know the crowd doesn't like it, but that's a very legal play.
Corey Willis gave him a sick ball. That's a little love tap.
Yeah. Now everybody's just going to be, heightened sense of sensitivity now every time any player goes to the ground. But that's a fine play. That's a good football play defensively. That was the intended receiver. The ball wasn't close. You can hit him like that.
3rd and 9. Still just one target for Stanley Morgan Jr. He's lined up in the slot at the bottom of your screen. It looks like the Cornhuskers are going to call a timeout and talk about it. 8 minutes, 48 seconds until the half. Let's take a look. Current Big Ten standings is presented by Discover. You can see Michigan later on FS1 and Ohio State. Boy, they're in a battle with Maryland right now.
Well, I think the surprise with everybody is Northwestern wins the West already after a very slow start. And they just got ranked just this last week. Now winning the West. You're going to play the champion of the East.
Here's Martinez. Rolling. Throws and complete. And Stoll. He's got himself a first down. Make sure you check out the Big Ten Championship December 1st on Fox. Brought to you by Discover. 14-yard pickup. Maurice Washington has checked in for the Huskers. They want to take another look at that catch by Stoll.
Well, his back was to us, so we couldn't see any sort of possession on the catch.
He dragged the foot to me.
He got that left foot. Surely he got that left foot. It looks like from here, that's the one we'll take a look at.
Okay. What about that right foot?
Well, is the left toe on the white? I think that's what they want to see. Is the left toe clearly in bounds?
It's close.
And does that right toe?
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. First down.
Well, there you go.
All right.
It's a catch.
Good catch. Little backyard football toe drag.
Or as they say on Good Morning Football, that's toe drag swag.
That is.
By Jake Stahl. Nate Burleson will be shouting you out. Maurice Washington. Checks in the backfield. This is Mike Williams. Took a shot. Willikis. Down. They'll go with a little tempo here. From the Spartan 34. Martinez. That's incomplete.
We got Andrew Dowell making 2 plays in a row. The previous play does a fantastic job on the outside as he's lined up against the receiver, fights off the block and makes the play. This time he comes on the blitz and you see him get his hand up there with his right hand and just knock that ball down. So making his presence felt there on 1st and 2nd down.
So 3rd and 9 for Nebraska. From the Spartan 34. Under 8 minutes until the half. Washington in motion. Martinez keeps it. And he is brought down immediately by who else? Willikis.
He just continues to make play after play. And this was designed to sort of make these guys on the front side play second guess themselves. The whole action was going away. You would think that these guys would chase the action, have the quarterback keep it on the right side of the offense, and Willikis, once again, because he's so instinctful and he's so quick, diagnoses the play and stops him and forces a fourth down.
Fourth tackle for him, second tackle for a loss. He had a career-high 13 tackles last week against Ohio State and 3.5 tackles for loss. 0 of 1 on fourth down today for the Huskers. Over the middle, wide open is Morgan, and he overthrows him. Oh, he had a step and a half. Huskers can't convert on fourth down, and Martinez has Stanley Morgan Jr. open. Spartans ball when we come back. Three to nothing our score here in the second quarter. Just under 7 minutes until the half. First and 10 for the Spartans from their own 34. Elijah Collins gets hit. Fumbles a football. Nebraska on the season has forced 10 fumbles.
And they're going to say Michigan State recovers. But boy, oh boy, there was no hesitation at all from Antonio Reed. Watch him come screaming downhill from the safety spot. Again, his feet don't stop. There's no breaking down. He lines up the ball carrier and sticks his helmet right on the football. That is a great fundamental tackle from Antonio Reed.
Darius Jefferson has checked into the backfield. He's in motion. Lombardi throws to the outside, incomplete. That's to Darrell Stewart.
Lombardi's pass is complete to number 25 here.
Well, that's nothing but just a good throw and a good catch. You're going to see really tight coverage here on the outside, and the ball's thrown right when he comes out of his break. It sort of surprises him as he comes out of his break, but he's able to readjust, get his eyes locked on the ball, and bring that thing in for a catch.
Just the second completion, the third completion now for Rocky Lombardi, the redshirt freshman. Here's 3rd and 7 from their own 36. Showing pressure. Lombardi throws. It's complete. And that's to Cody White. So their leading receiver gets his first catch of the day.
Well, they motion everybody over. They get a 4-by-1 and single up Cody White against Lamar Jackson on the outside. And again, it's good coverage by Jackson. It's just a little bit better throw on time with velocity. And Cody White's able to corral it and pick up a few extra yards to get that first down.
You move the sticks. Spartans now have got 1st and 10 from their own 46. Under 5 minutes until the half. Connor Hayward is checked back in. He gets the call. He pushes the pile to about midfield.
You see Nebraska players now, again, they're attacking that football on every play and every opportunity that they can. They've seen Michigan State's defense do it. They've been really good themselves the last couple of games about getting that ball out.
Hayward now with 53 yards rushing on 10 carries.
Well, you have plenty of time. Again, this clock is winding down, but you want to use that to your advantage, not give Nebraska any time here at the end of the first half.
This is Jefferson. Maybe a yard.
Carried by number 15, Darius Jefferson.
Looks like the Spartans will be looking at 3rd down and about 7.
Well, right now, Nebraska's defense is just keying in and teeing off. Understand there's not been a lot of misdirection. Normally, Michigan State's offense will bring a puller or a guy that makes it look like a counter type thing to deceive the guys on defense and mess with their keys and their eyes. Right now, it's a lot of downhill running game, and these safeties and second-level linebackers are coming downhill in their fits and attacking the ball carriers.
Spartans are 3 for 7 so far on 3rd down. Play clock is at 2. Here's Lombardi. Throws over the middle. incomplete, and he was looking for Stewart.
Well, again, unfortunate because the route combination and design was there. Darrell Stewart's on the outside on your left. He's going to win the slant route towards the inside. If that ball is delivered out in front, he would pick up a first down. But you see Lombardi disappointed in himself that he throws that ball just behind him and throws on his back hip.
Here's Pristup. Stanley Morgan Jr. standing at his own 12. That is down at the 24-yard line. Just a 26-yard kick. 3-0, still our score here in Lincoln. Okay, Stoner, thank you. Here's 1st and 10. This is a Zigbo. A Zigbo busts that one open. He's got a first down.
This is what Nebraska does best. Watch 63 on the pole, right? You're going to think as a linebacker, I've got to get front side to the puller, but that play design was to go back to the back side and go attack the void. That's the one thing Nebraska does really well. They want to mess with your eyes. They want to mess with your keys. We're going to pull a lot of guys, get you guys going one direction, and hit you on the backside.
Well, Zigbo's got 32 yards. He needs just 10 more for his first 1,000-yard rushing season. He'd be the first Nebraska Cornhusker to do that since Amir Abdullah in 2014. That one's batted. Kari Willis.
Again, you give this defensive front all this time to get after the quarterback, and you see Kari Willis fighting off the block, getting his arm up in the air. We're going to take a look at an injured Michigan State player on the field right now. It looks possibly like Raekwon Williams.
He's the junior out of Chicago.
And initially he tried to get up, and now you'll see the trainers help him up. It's always a great sign to see a player jog off the field.
And now, quick message from Dr. Pepper.
Champ case.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
So 2nd and 10 now for the Huskers from their own 36. Zigbo. Boy, I tell you, these Spartans just swarm to the football.
Yeah, they really do. They thought they had them on the angle again on the wind back block from the tight end, but then it was Joe Bocci from his middle linebacker spot just playing patient, reading his keys, following the football and making a play. And like you said, once it's diagnosed, these guys in white jerseys know how to fly to the football.
3rd and 10, under 2 minutes. The time Nebraska's been held scoreless in the first half. Got to go all the way back to September. They lost to Michigan. Here's an incomplete. He was looking for Stanley Morgan Jr.
Well, as Justin Lane singled up on the outside, they trust him so much that they took the free safety and had him shade over to the 3 receiver side, leaving him on an island. And he goes out and makes a play. True competitor. He's so good with his eyes, plays with great awareness. You're going to come up with a lot more than that to beat Justin Lane.
Isaac Armstrong will come in to punt things away. Brendan Sowards is standing back at his own 15. Sowers lets it roll. And it's down at the 10. 55-yard punt. Hey, tomorrow it is a Fox NFL doubleheader, starting with Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys. They're taking on Matt Ryan and those Falcons. Then it's America's Game of the Week. Carson Wentz and the Eagles battle Drew Brees and the Saints. It's all on Fox. And at Fox Sports app, you can check your local listings, and it's all on the line for those Eagles, Ben. They got who?
Well,
they need to win.
and they're running into one of the hottest teams in the whole NFL, in the New Orleans Saints. They're hitting on all cylinders defensively, and Drew Brees looks like he's playing like he's 31 instead of 39.
Last 4 possessions there for Spartans. Punts. Here's Hayward. Let's get a quick game break here. Here's the Wolfman, Greg Wolf.
Brian, thanks. Number 1, Alabama coming off back-to-back shutouts. LSU, Mississippi State, both couldn't score on them. First time facing a triple option team since 2011, the Citadel, showing they can find the end zone. Dante Smith, 45-yard score, top-ranked tied, and the Citadel all tied at 10 at the half. Back to you guys.
How about that? Just like we expected. I predicted that, right? Didn't you?
How about that? Hey, if we listen, Michigan State will receive the second half kickoff, so that's something to keep in mind. You know, we caught up with Coach Scott Frost for the Power of Ambition. It's sponsored by SoFi, a personal finance company to fit your goals on the atmosphere here playing in Lincoln.
There's no place like Nebraska, one of the most special game day environments in the country. We got the most supportive fans in the country, had a spring game that was sold out. It's awesome to go to work and be able to play in front of that type of fan base, and we're going to try to give them something to be proud about this year.
They're going to need to get some scoring going. The defense is going to have to get a stop. So Darius Jefferson gets the carry, picks up a couple.
Well, they just have unblocked Carlos Davis. He was involved in a little push and shoving after the play, but not exactly what you want when we have a 6'3", 325-pound guy just standing there all by himself and nobody's blocking. He's going to make that play every time.
Don't forget, coming up, the State Farm halftime show, you got Rob Stone, you got Matt Leinart, and the coach Dave Wanstad in our Los Angeles studios. And again, Ohio State, boy, they're having some problems with the Turtle because Maryland in a battle with them. Pittsburgh, that ACC Coastal Division, and all that and more. They're up 24-17. Maryland over Ohio State.
Well, it just seems to me that you're looking at Ohio State, there's just something amiss the last few weeks. They're not playing with the same tenacity. They just don't seem to be playing with as much fire. So clearly something going on there.
Michigan State's defense certainly playing with tenacity. Here's 3rd and 8. Let's see what the offense can do. Lombardi, that's a first down and a whole lot more. Spins out of another tackle. And brought down at the 35.
With just a quarterback lead, it's going to be the lead by Jefferson that's really going to spring this whole thing. Nice patience, selling it, making it look like pass, and then Jefferson with that key block, and then from there it's the big body Lombardi rumbling down the field.
Under a minute. Lombardi to the air, up top, too short. He's looking for Darryl Stewart.
Boy, they just keep trying Lamar Jackson on the outside, and he's had a couple plays not go his way. You'll see him as a number 1 up here. Again, look at the tight coverage. They're trying to get him on another go route, but he's step for step, and there's been a couple completions on him, but I put that more on the offensive execution, just putting the ball in the right spot at the right time. But for the most part in this game, when they have attacked, he's been right there on their hips.
I think of what Coach D'Antonio told us. He said 3 things. We got to get turnovers. They've done that. Got to keep that quarterback in the pocket. They've done that, and we have to have opportunistic offense. In other words, says score TDs on sudden change and make big plays offensively. That's what they have not done thus far.
Yeah, they have not done it, and Rocky's missed a few throws down the field. I think the wind has been sort of the culprit for both quarterbacks here, is they just can't play the wind as well. And you got to keep in mind too, he's still a young quarterback. You know, he's not used to getting a lot of these reps. Only his 2nd start this season. So there's going to be some rust, and this is a tough environment with the packed house here in Nebraska.
3rd and 10 for the Spartans. From their own 36. They go 4 wide. Lombardi, another quarterback design run, and another first down.
Well, you may ask yourself, and they're going to go hurry up here. Would you run this much with your backup quarterback knowing that your starter is out because of injury as well? You risk injuring your quarterback and going to your 3rd quarterback, but I tell you what, this guy in the state of Iowa was a runner-up. at 220 pounds as a wrestler. You don't often find quarterbacks that were that high of a level in wrestling in high school. He's a tough, big man, and he can handle the punishment.
Well, and Lombardi, coach's kid, you know, father, grandfather, all of these guys, players and coaches. So he's grown up loving football, and as you talked about, what an athlete he was back in Iowa. One of the top wrestlers there, as well as one of the great quarterbacks there out of their prospects coming out of there. Got his first start against Purdue, threw for 318 yards back in week 8 against Purdue, but for the past couple of weeks he's been splitting duties with Lewerke, as Lewerke's been trying to work through that shoulder injury that he injured against Penn State back in October.
You know what I'm most jealous of? He's a scratch golfer too. Come on, can you be that good of an athlete, that strong, that tough, and be a scratch golfer? Come on, not fair.
Here's 1st and 10. 30 seconds until the half. From their own 45. He just pitched it there to Jefferson, who dropped it. It's almost like a shovel pass.
Well, you mentioned the times that he's had to spell Lewerke, and last week against Ohio State, Lewerke just wasn't feeling good with the shoulder, and they bring in Lombardi, and he was responsible for 2 turnovers right away in the ball game.
Why he got pulled,
and that's the reason why he got pulled. And you know, one was an errant snap, which apparently was on him, and then he had another pitch to the running back that was an errant pitch, hit the running back in the shoulder, that ball falls on the ground. So Lombardi's got to do the little things correctly just to execute the play.
4 of 15. He is through the air for just 32 yards is Lombardi. This is 2nd and 10. Looks, throws, incomplete. Here's a flag.
Oh, that's a really late flag too.
They're going to look like they're going to call that one on Lamar Jackson.
Pass interference. Defense number 21. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
I've talked about his coverage really all game. I think he's played fantastic football up until this point. And we'll see where the infraction comes in on the pass interference. Ooh, that's really tough to see from that angle. It looks like the backside arm is off oftentimes what you look for, and that doesn't even look like it's making contact. And he's just making a play on the ball. I wonder if they saw a holding or something before the break.
So now 1st down for the Spartans from the Huskers 45. Lombardi's going to keep it right side. Gets hit by Antonio Reed. Goes out of bounds shy of the 40.
Well, and you can just see at the end of that play, we talk about the sturdiness of Lombardi. And remember, Antonio Reed was the safety that came down and caused that forced fumble earlier in the game, and he came screaming downhill to lay the hit. He goes over to try to hit Lombardi close to the out of bounds, and Lombardi just kind of shrugs him off.
4th tackle for Reed. 20 seconds until the half. Spartans will get the football at the beginning of the 2nd half. Lombardi looks. He's going to throw it. Cody White, but it looks like he was out of bounds.
Boy, it was pretty much telegraphed that they're going to go to the right side, but watch this safety here. He's going to drop in coverage and really provide that support that corner needs. See that? That's what he sees. That's why he pulls the ball down. Initially, he thought, hey, I got one-on-one coverage. I'm going to win over here on this comeback route. But when you have a buzzing linebacker on the outside that's going to provide underneath support, you can't throw that ball. He knows that. Still tries to force that ball in there, though.
3rd and 7 for the Spartans. Just 13 seconds left here in the half. So far on 3rd down, a couple of runs for Lombardi, 36 yards. This one throws, middle of the field, and intercepted by the Huskers. Was it Reed? Antonio Reed, the senior out of Memphis, comes up with the pick.
Well, it's clearly one of these 50-50 balls at the end of the half. You're just trying to get the ball down as close as you can. Try to get it in the end zone. Hopefully your guy can go up there and high point that football and make a play on it. But Antonio Reed, who's had one heck of a ball game here in the first half, a forced fumble, and now he gets an interception.
So just 3 seconds here left until the half. You know, the last time Nebraska was held scoreless here in their own building in the first half last year, October 14th, Ohio State held them to no points in the first half. Martinez will just throw that one away, and that's the half. 3-0 is our score. Right now, let's send you to Los Angeles and Rob Stone. Stoner? Been some hard hitting here in Lincoln. 3-0 is our score as we get ready to begin to second half of football here in Nebraska. Brian Custer alongside Ben Lieber. I'll tell you, defensively, both of these teams have been getting after it. Offensively, it has not been pretty. Total of 3 turnovers already in the first half.
Yeah, we kind of expected the offenses to struggle in the cold and in the wind, and we've seen both quarterbacks miss some throws, but we knew Michigan State was going to come in defensively and really lay the hammer and play well up front, and they did that in the first half. You'll see Kenny Willekes, we talked about him, disruptor, playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, picking up a fumble, taking a few yards from Michigan State's defense, but then Nebraska's defense has stepped up as well, causing fumbles, being very disciplined, laying some hits as well. It is a defensive football game, which again, no surprise given the elements.
You see this, both teams, when you talk about rushing the football, just under 100 yards for Michigan State, but Nebraska at just 57. 75 yards passing, but 2 costly turnovers for Nebraska as Barrett Pickering kicks things away to Connor Hayward. Let's go down to the field. The third member of our team, here's Alex Curry.
Yeah, guys, I spoke to Nebraska's head coach, Scott Frost, at half, who said their defense is keeping them in this game. He said weather has obviously been an issue, but if they can string 1 to 2 drives together, he believes that they'll be in good shape.
KAT, thanks.
Well, and I would 100% agree with that. And you look back at some of their missed opportunities. They've had some right schemes. They've had some guys open. They've just had some misfires by the quarterback, receivers dropping balls. Again, the fumbles that they've had on offense as well. If they can just control the little things, they can move the ball a little bit on this defense and hopefully put in the end zone for a score.
Nebraska's offense coming into the game ranked 13th nationally. Here's Darrell Stewart. And he is forced out of bounds.
Well, they're trying to test the speed of this Nebraska defense, and if you go back again to the first half, where they had success running the football was right at the heart of these guys, going right in the A and B gap, some quick hitting runs, had a lot of success with that. I expect them to come back with that here in the second half. As you see the offensive leaders there, not a whole lot from Lombardi throwing the football down the field. He's been a little bit inconsistent, has a hard time judging the wind either in his face or going with the wind.
Here's Lombardi. That throw complete. Larice Nelson, the sophomore out of Florida.
Well, it's just a little out route out here. It's a pretty easy throw, and it's all about the receivers just making plays after they catch it. And again, Nebraska's defense has been every bit as fast and quick as Michigan State's. They miss on the first one, but he stops his feet. Then you see Luke Gifford come over, screaming inside out to clean up the tackle.
3rd and 8 for the Spartans.
Remember the quarterback run game at the end of the second quarter. They really had something going with Lombardi running the football.
Michigan State 5 of 11 on 3rd down. Pressure, throw, incomplete. It was intended for Darrell Stewart. Luke Gifford with the coverage. And the Spartans will kick it away.
Well, and I would tell, if I'm on defense, And I'm Eric Shenander. I would tell these guys, hey, he's taking one read, one primary read, and he's going to try to fit the ball in there. So once you see the quarterback turn with his eyes and shoulders, he's not ever coming back. So just jump on the routes when you see it.
Christo, the kick. Morgan. Caught, dropped at the 30, flags down.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be kick interference. Or catch interference, I should say. He's definitely within that halo, that buffer zone that you have to keep on the returners.
42-yard punt.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team number 3. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Xavier Henderson, the guilty party.
So field position obviously in the elements becomes a big deal for both teams. You can't afford to have any of those errors in the special teams. And you take a look at the first half offensive leaders. Martinez, not real effective throwing the ball. They have to commit more to running the ball, and I expect them to get downhill.
Quick one to Morgan, incomplete as he dropped it. All 4 penalties on Michigan State, 15 yards.
Well, I know, again, the horizontal passing game is such a big part of this sort of spread offense, if you will, but it seems like to me every successful pass has been on the hash marks in the middle of the football field.
Martinez keeps it. Bad decision. Willikis is all over.
Well, he's just so disciplined. He understands football. He understands his responsibility. He sees play go away, and he knows, hey, I can just sit here, mind my own business, and make a play if it comes back to me. This whole Michigan State defense so well coached on the run fits and the responsibilities, especially on the backside of plays.
3rd and 12. Willikis leads the Big Ten. Tackles for loss. That one nearly batted down. Zigbo, he got back to maybe the line of scrimmage. Right there for the stop.
And what's not working well on the outside for Nebraska is at the point of attack with the receivers against the corners, they're not winning those battles. Michigan State's defenders are fighting off the blocks. Their corners are stronger and better getting off the blocks than they are getting blocked by the receivers. So that's a big area of concern. If you're going to throw the ball out there, that's fine, but you got to have your guys on the outside finish those blocks, and they're not doing that for Nebraska.
Isaac Armstrong to punt things away. Brandon Sowers. That's a boomer. They're going to down it inside the 5. No, they're going to mark it at the 7. 46-yard punt. Spartans football when we come back. 3-0. Our score here in Lincoln. As the Spartans, 1st and 10 from their own 7. Hayward up the middle, breaks through, and he picks up a good 7 before he's brought down. Michigan State, their last 6 possessions, 4 punts. They missed the field goal and an interception.
Well, Max Rosenthal, the fullback, comes off the field, so they take the big personnel guys that they use on that lead block there to give them some room away from their own end zone. But man, oh man, I would go back to sort of that I formation, power run, mano-a-mano, because I think they're going to win a majority of those battles.
2 tight ends. Here's Hayward again. He's brought down by a yard shy of the first down. Tyrone Ferguson was the first guy to meet him.
Well, Tyrone Ferguson is going to be unblocked. He's here. He's just going to chase the puller that's right in front of him. He's coached. If that jersey goes away from you, then you just chase right on your hip. Try not to get too far upfield, but he does a nice job of gathering and corralling the running back to stop him there, forcing a 3rd and short now, where the black shirt's got to buckle up.
Yep. 3rd and 1. From their own 11. Again, 2 tight ends for the Spartans. Hayward, right up the middle, 1st down and more. Dedrick Young.
Well,
they were now with 64 yards rushing.
Well, they brought in Max Rosenthal again, the fullback. He's going to stay in the ball game, but again, it is lineup in I formation. This time, they go with the counter action, bring him back to the backside of the defense. He secures the block, and then from there, it was just Hayward churning those legs to pick up a first down.
Michigan State now with 109 yards rushing total. Lombardi throws on the run, and it's complete. Matt Sokol. Sokol makes the catch. He's out of Rochester, Michigan. It's a 14-yard pickup.
Well, that was the first time here where Lombardi looked off his primary. See him looking out there. He's trying to get him to go up the field. Then he remembers, hey, I've got a tight end trailing from the backside. He snaps his eyes back to the middle of the field and sees a wide open tight end streaking over from the other side.
Under center now is Lombardi. They got the power eye behind him. Hayward carries the pile about 3 to 4 yards. Flurry starting to come down here in Lincoln.
Well, again, it's just power football, and you see they're picking up 4 and 5 yards every time. It's not sexy, but you know what? It's effective. The guys in the front of the offensive line, who they've said, hey, these guys aren't built right now the way we want them to be built. They've had a number of injuries in the offensive line, 8 different starting combinations throughout the season so far, so not a lot of continuity, but these guys are typically bigger and more aggressive. They haven't been there this season, but they're so far winning the battle line of scrimmage right now.
Here's Hayward. Plows his way for another first down, and Michigan State has now run the football 26 times, and Hayward, he picks up 7. He's got 76 yards rushing on 16 carries, and you know, we talked about it earlier, Ben. Spartans have lost 6 of 7 games when they've run for fewer than 100, and they've won 9 straight when they've run over 100. They're over 100 yards rushing.
Well, it's the perfect day to support that stat where you can just run the football in cold weather. Quarterbacks had a hard time throwing in the wind, and right now they are just more physical than Nebraska.
Lombardi. It looked like he was going to give it to Hayward. That was a busted play.
Yeah, that was just a busted play. GT's going to take a look at, hey, what did I just call there? You're going to see him sort of spin around. Wait, nobody's there. So he's going to try to make something out of nothing. And Damian Daniels makes the tackle there for Nebraska.
Hayward and Colin Lucas, the fullback, are in pass protection. Second and 9. We go Wildcat. Hayward. Direct snap to him, and boy, Antonio Reed, what of a game he's had here thus far. Blows that thing up.
Well, Reed has just been on fire. Whether he's going to come screaming off this left side here again, unaccounted for, unblocked, and he makes the play in the backfield. Whether he's at the free safety spot running downhill or he's staying back in coverage. I know it was an easy interception at the end of that first half with the Hail Mary, but it's a stat pattern. He's got a forced fumble, he's got tackle for loss, he's got an interception today.
Yes, he does. 6 tackles. A tackle for a loss and a pick. 3rd and 12 here for the Spartans. From their own 44. The throw. Complete. No! He dropped it. Cody White had it. Took a hit from Cam Taylor and dropped it.
Well, it's one of these stack releases where they're just trying to get the defenders to be confused. The ball's a little bit late, and it leaves it up there for Cam Taylor to get his body on the receiver and jar that ball loose. Nice aggressive tackle there by the freshman from Alabama.
Prista. Here's Stanley Morgan Jr. Open through his hands. And he is brought down at the 2-yard line. 53-yard punt. Morgan corrals it, brought down at the 2. That's where the Huskers will have it when we come back. Welcome back to Fox College Football. It's sponsored by AT&T Business here at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. Temperature 26 degrees, but boy, I tell you, with this wind, the flurries have started to come down here in Lincoln. Here's 1st and 10 from their own 2. Martinez. That's complete. Is Stanley Morgan Jr. His first catch of the day, but there's a flag.
We'll check on what this flag is, but I love the play call. As you can see, Nebraska players saying it's on Michigan State.
Offside. Defense number 48 lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. The play results in a 1st down.
That's on Willikis.
Well, it just gives you an indication of what everybody on the front 7 was thinking, that the typical thinking and logic is we're going to run the football to get out of our own end zone. And so everybody up front is just, you see everybody running downhill, trying to fill the gaps. They throw it quick to the outside.
Here's Washington with the carry. They're still moving the pile. Legs still churning. Zigbo. A pickup of about 6. They're going to put it at the 19. So 2nd and 3. The fake to Zigbo. Morgan down the sideline. And he's dropped at the 33-yard line.
These quick hitters are working here for Nebraska. Finally getting the ball out on time with a little bit more velocity. But I got to say, Michigan State's going to tighten down the ratchets there on the outside.
Zigbo just maybe a couple. You know, going to look at the last 4 games for Morgan. 32 catches, 463 yards, 6 touchdowns. Today, just 2 catches.
Well, and that's really interesting, knowing that J.D. Spielman did not play in this game, was ruled out with an ankle injury. We thought that Morgan would be highlighted a little bit more and didn't see a lot of targets there in the 1st half.
Zigbo. He's just broken over 1,000 yards rushing. First Cornhusker to run for 1,000 yards in a single season since Amir Abdullah in 2014.
Well, and that right there is what he's known for, is going downhill, getting his shoulders square, keeping him above his knees, and running with power as he breaks the tackle from Joe Bocci, who's one of the most sure tacklers on that defense.
You know, he ran for 162. Career high 3 touchdowns last week against Illinois. Willick has mixed the stop there. Just 4 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter.
Once again, Nebraska's faced with another 4th down. They were 0 for 2 in the 1st half, and it seems like they're going to say, nope, not in a position where we want to go for it, so here comes the punt team.
Nebraska, and you see Scott Frost shaking his head, just 69 yards rushing. Just how stingy has this Michigan State's defense been? Well, they've held 7 of their last 10 opponents to 63 or fewer yards rushing. They've only given up 3 offensive TDs in the last 3 games. That's how stingy the Spartans defense has been. Armstrong punts things away to Sowers. Fair catch at his own 25, 26-yard line. That's where the Spartans will take over when we come back. Second offensive possession for the Spartans here in the 2nd half coming up. They'll go with 2 backs, Ladarius Jefferson and Connor Hayward. In the backfield, flanking the quarterback, the redshirt freshman Rocky Lombardi. 1st and 10. Lombardi throw, complete. Hayward on the loose. He's finally corralled at the 35-yard line by Luke Gifford, but not before a 46-yard pickup for the Spartans.
Well, always the back out of the backfield, so dangerous, especially when they full flow, get the back on the other side to go to the same side. It really messes with your responsibilities in coverage. And he sneaks out and finds a little soft spot, and a great ball finally there by Rocky Lombardi to deliver.
Here's 1st and 10 now. From the Huskers, 38. Jefferson puts his head down. And brought down at the 34. We got a flag.
Hedrick Young on the stop. There is a flag on.
It's like indications on Michigan State.
Holding. Offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
You know, it's their first non-15-yard penalty, and it's still a big one. It's a 10-yarder.
Well, he's the offensive center there. As he snaps the ball, he's just going to fold across. You see him just basically tackle Luke Gifford there on the right side of your screen. And, you know, Matt Allen's a guy that's been banged up, missed a lot of the season. He started the first 5 games, then missed the last 3, and it was questionable whether he was going to play in this game. But you could chalk that up just to being a little bit rusty and not being in there for a lot of games.
1st and 20 now for Michigan State. From the Cornhuskers, 48. Lombardi going to keep it up the middle. And he's back to the original line of scrimmage and more. And time now for the expectation-shattering drive of the game. It's sponsored by Buick. And really, this was the drive that set up the only score that we've had so far today.
Well, it's pretty easy to pick the drive of the game right now. It's only been 3 points, but you saw Hayward right there on the big run to set up the field goal attempt. But, you know, on that particular drive, there was a lot of momentum by Michigan State. And again, a credit to this Nebraska defense for holding their own and just making Michigan State settle for a field goal.
They run the screen. Here's Jefferson. He's got a 1st down, it looks like. Dedrick Young made the stop.
Looks like he may actually be just a touch short. They're going to mark this about a yard short of the 1st down. So again, I like what Michigan State's doing. They went back on this drive after the penalty. They ran with the quarterback. They do a quick hitting screen to get out there and get their guys in space. Again, making this Nebraska defense tackle in open space, which they've struggled in.
Under a minute left in the quarter. 3rd and 1 for the Spartans. Jumbo package in. And that's a 1st down and a whole lot more by Jefferson.
Well, just when you thought that you had your big body quarterback could just fall ahead for a 1st down, they have this little handoff play to Jefferson, a little skinny sweep there to the right side. That was a nice play design. Could have been just disastrous because you don't really want to go laterally in that situation when you got a half a yard to pick up.
Hayward checks into the backfield. From the Cornhuskers, 22. He falls at the 20. And that will be the last play of the quarter. So we've come to the end of 3. The score 3-0 Michigan State. Fox College Football will return right after this. Oh, they get lit here in Lincoln as we begin the 4th quarter. 3-0's your score. 26 degrees here in Lincoln. Feels like 11 degrees. We got snow flurries coming down. Brian Custer with Ben Lieber, Alex Curry, Dean Blandino. 2nd down and 7 from the 20 of the Cornhuskers. They go Wildcat. Hayward. The pitch. Jefferson. Pulled down from behind. Tyron Ferguson wasn't having it.
What a play by Ferguson. When you're the guy on the end and on the line of scrimmage and you've got quarterback responsibility, but you can also play the pitch. you're just helping your defense out by giving yourself a 12th defender. He played it perfectly, feathered the quarterback, and gets out there on the pitch, and this place is hype.
Yes, it is. 3rd and 8. 88,000 here in Memorial Stadium. Lombardi, the throw. And it is caught by Darrell Stewart. Right at the 10-yard line. 1st and 10 for Spartans.
And how did he catch that ball? Again, this is on Lamar Jackson, who I think has had a pretty good game. All over the receivers. That ball's thrown low in the only spot that you can catch that ball. And my goodness, Stewart makes one heck of a catch.
Spartans 6 and 4. They want to win out. Coach D'Antonio wants to play on New Year's Day. Nebraska has won 3 of their last 4 football games. 2 tight ends. Hayward, the carry. Falls forward. Maybe 2. Aaron Williams makes the stop.
Okay, Aaron Williams is going to come off this side here. He's the unblocked guy. He's got to get flat, laterally down with speed, and then make the sure tackle. These guys on defense for Nebraska have been screaming off the edge all game long. I wonder if there's going to be an opportunity for Michigan State to throw a little bit of a bootleg, a little bit of something to keep these guys honest and see if they can be undisciplined on the edges.
2nd and goal. Darrell Stewart and Cody White have checked into the game. They're your receivers. White's at the bottom of the screen. Stewart at the top. Lombardi, pressure. Looking to the back of the end zone. In and out of the hands of Matt Dotson. The tight end, he had it.
And he had it. I think he was just shielded. Here he is, going to be leaking out to the back of the end zone. But because Lombardi does a good job of throwing behind it, away from, see how he throws it away from the defender? And I think that was just enough to shield the football, and he couldn't catch it. Boy, Lombardi put exactly where he needed to.
The sophomore out of Ohio. Here's 3rd and goal. Cody White at the top of your screen. Shovel pass, Hayward up the middle and brought down. Luke Gifford once again. He's a local kid from Lincoln making the stop.
Was Nebraska's defense not fooled at all? You're going to see Gifford on the right side, again, unblocked. And he just chases this thing down on the backside, and you see all the red shirts there just anticipating some sort of play from the inside.
Here's Conklin for the field goal. Made one from 34, missed one from 41. And the one miss was in this direction. And he boots that one through. He's good from 26 yards out. Spartans now 6. Cornhuskers nothing. 6-0. Our score here in the 4th quarter. As the Spartans just went 11 plays, 66 yards. And they did it in a little over 6 minutes with the 26-yard field goal. 88,000 here at Memorial Stadium.
Well, and it's the drive that you expected one of these teams to go on. Again, given the elements that who's going to take a drive like that? You know, I don't think you're going to see a lot of big plays. It's going to be just grinded out, 4 or 5 yards, a quick little pass here and there, and that's exactly what Michigan State did.
Cole Haan will have to kick things away. Maurice Washington from his own 12. Washington across the 25. And brought down at the 29-yard line. We got a late flag that has been thrown. Here's our referee, Dan Capron.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Michigan State number 29, 15-yard penalty. That's number 29's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game.
So unsportsmanlike on Michigan State. Nebraska to get an extra 15 when we come back. Told you earlier, 2 of the 3 Heisman Trophy winners from Nebraska in the house, and they just honored Mike Rozier, the 1983 Heisman Trophy winner. Johnny the Jet Rogers was honored in the first quarter. Here's 1st and 10 for Martinez. Plenty of time to pass. Over the middle, wide open is Morgan. Breaks a tackle and brought down at the 20-yard line by Corey Willis, but not before a huge pickup for Big Red.
Boy, it starts with time, and then it's going to be him just on the crisscross from the outside to confuse the defense. Terrific play design by Scott Frost.
Here's Martinez again. He throws that one into the ground. But for Morgan, he now has a catch in 25 straight games.
And we talked about earlier that they needed to get the ball in his hands more often. They did not do very much in a weird fashion in the first half. And then all of a sudden in the second half, they clearly said, hey, we got to get the ball in one of our best playmakers' hands, and he's making plays now at the end of this game.
Yeah, in fact, his consecutive game streak's at 37. Here's Martinez. That's complete to Mike Williams.
Well, that's exactly what you didn't want. You open this thing up with a big play down the field to Morgan, and all of a sudden now a throw in the dirt, a throw horizontally for just a 1-yard gain. Now you're sitting at 3rd and 9 against this defense.
3rd and 9 from the 19 of the Spartans. Martinez throws it away. And it looks like Morgan's down on the ground hurt.
Well, take a look at Stanley Morgan here. I think he was the primary target, and he just slips and falls, and immediately grabs his calf here. It's Nebraska, 4th down when we come back.
Welcome back. Fox College Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. 4th down. Barrett Pickering has come in. This is from 36 yards out. His career long, 35. And Pickering has a new career long. And the Huskers are on the board. 6-3 our score here in Lincoln. We're in the 4th quarter. Well, today's Ford unstoppable player. How about Connor Hayward there, Ben?
Yeah, he's been fantastic, especially here in the second half. They really made an effort to get downhill, bringing a fullback in the game and getting downhill and hitting this defense right in the mouth. And there you see him again, just in the passing game as well, sneaking out of the backfield. He's been the most steady guy on offense, and then you continue to feed him the rock.
He's back deep as well. This is Hayward. Across the 20 and the 25 and brought down at about the 27, 28-yard line. Hard to believe Hayward had just 4 carries last week. 4 carries for just 1 yard. Last week against Ohio State, leading the team in rushing.
Well, we talked to D'Antonio about that. Dave Warner, the offensive coordinator, says, it's one of those things where, we made an emphasis going into the game to run the ball, and then things just kind of got sideways. They had a couple turnovers. They got a little discombobulated. And at the end of the game, they're like, really? Did we only run the ball that many times? And sometimes the games can get away from you like that.
Yeah, since 2017 when they run for over 100. 13-1. Hayward. Maybe 2. And they were ruled that he was down. Forward progress had been stopped. Dedrick Young had the football.
Well, what you're not going to hear is the whistle. And that's really what stops the whole play. And clearly they get the ball out. A clear recovery by Nebraska, but forward progress stop. Whistle blows the play dead. Nebraska fans don't like it.
Our Dean Blandino said the same thing. He agreed. Forward progress had been stopped at the time. Here's 2nd and 8. Lombardi under pressure, hit. ball's loose. And the Huskers have it. Antonio Reed has played out of his mind here today. Makes the hit. And the Huskers are in business.
I don't know if you can have a better senior day than Antonio Reed right now. Continually, this defense is bringing pressure off the edge. And again, it's coming off the right side, unblocked. He puts his helmet right on the football, a clear fumble. So a sack fumble, another fumble, an interception at the end of the first half, and a tackle for loss for Antonio Reed. How about that stat line? And this game's not even over yet.
Reed, 7 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, a pick, and now a forced fumble. The senior out of Memphis. First down and 10, Martinez. The give to Zigbo. Maybe a yard.
Well, Carlos Davis, number 96 for Michigan State, he was going after that football too. Normally you don't try to rake at that football unless you have a second buddy there, but he was able to get in there on his own and try to get that ball out.
Here's 2nd and 9 from the 19. Martinez. That's incomplete.
Oh, that's always dangerous. When you get that ball tipped or deflected and it's kind of hanging up in the air, luckily for Nebraska, that falls on the ground. And once again, 3rd and long in the red zone, 2nd consecutive drive.
Nebraska 3 of 10 on 3rd down. The draw, a Zigbo up the middle, cuts back, brought down at the 4-yard line. David Dowell made the stop. And they're going to go with tempo. 1st and goal from the 4. And a flag.
Illegal substitution. The defense had more than 11 players in formation. Half the distance to the goal, still first down.
Well, sometimes when you go tempo, it's not about just getting lined up, it's also about personnel. Do we have enough guys? Or do we have too many? And there's 2 more running on the field. They get a lot more than 11 to line up for defense, and they get flagged.
So now from the 2-yard line, a Zigbo hit right at the line by Joe Bacci. And the team captain drives him back.
Oh, and Bacci read that perfectly. Just very patient in his read. Shuffles over, finds the gap, plays it like a running back himself to find the crease and fills it with his 240-pound body.
8 minutes, 30 seconds left here in this football game. 6-3 is our score. Martinez throws it away. He was looking at Jack Stoll, but
well, they're going to try to get Stoll over here, and then Kari Willis, number 27, just feels it. When I talk about being well coached, you know how hard that is when you get full action right at you. The ball is coming at you, but he knows I have this tight end in coverage. He lets the guys on the front side take care of that. He's got to take care of his business, and they live to play another down.
3rd and goal. Morgan at the top of your screen. He's looking to him, throws the back shoulder. And Justin Lane is not having it. The junior out of Cleveland.
Well, it's one of those bang-bang plays. You can see Lane singled up on the coverage. There is a grab there, and there is a little bit of a push. I understand exactly what this crowd and these fans are thinking. That, to me, I believe, with the ball in the air, should have been a defensive pass interference.
Barrett Pickering is going to come in for the tie. This is from 20 yards out. He's already made one from 36, a career long for him. He's a freshman out of Alabama. And we got a tie ball game here in Lincoln. All tied up at 6. We got 8 minutes to play. Nebraska honored 19 seniors here on senior day, their last home game, and 12 fifth-year seniors, 6 seniors, and 1 graduate transfer.
You know what I thought was special about that little ceremony is they allowed the parents to come out through the tunnel with the players. Normally the parents are on the field on the 50-yard line. The players kind of come out and meet them. What a cool experience for the parents to come out through the tunnel and greet all the players as well.
That one goes through the back of the end zone. It's time now for some football insight in the AT&T Business Edge-to-Edge Zone, where intelligence covers every edge of the field.
We'll take a look at some action from the first half as the Cornhuskers brothers come with the pressure, the sack fumble. Willikis picks it up. And we talked about how strong and how tenacious this defensive front for Michigan State was going to be coming into the game, and they have proven every bit of that.
Fourth quarter, 8 minutes left. This is Jefferson. Bounces off one, and the freshman out of Mississippi picks up maybe 1.
I think you obviously have to play with a higher sense of urgency here for the offense, but don't get out of sorts and don't get out of character. This is a big test for a redshirt freshman quarterback in Rocky Lombardi. Tie ball game, you've controlled most of the game itself. It's been a pretty sloppy game because of the weather, but now that it's a tie ball game, don't get tight. Keep playing loose like you have been all game.
Lombardi, back shoulder, Cody White, too hot though, incomplete. Lamar Jackson with the coverage.
And you can just see it as he's walking back to the huddle. At times that wind and that snow kind of getting in his face and having to blink and squint his eyes a little bit. That's a great shot of just what the elements these guys are dealing with. Not only is that ball coming out hot and on time, but it's awfully hard to deal with some of the snow in your face to track these balls.
3rd and 9. Michigan State 15-0. The last 2 seasons when they've run the rock 35 times. They've done it exactly 35 times here today. Lombardi over the middle. Dropped. As he was looking for Matt Dotson, and he took a lick.
Well, and who was it once again? We've seen him make plays off the edge, and this time Antonio Reed, the safety this time, playing center field, reads the tight end going up the seam. Dedrick Young does a great job of the underneath help, but then it's Antonio Reed over the top to knock that ball out.
So punting things away. Briss up. Here's Morgan from his own 40. Across the 45. And brought down at the 47-yard line. 34-yard punt, 7-yard return. Husker football when we come back. Welcome back. 6-6. That's our score here in the fourth quarter. Let's take a look at the hardest working player, sponsored by Duluth Trading Company. Tough, ingenious workwear designed and tested by tradesmen.
Well, you see the stat line. He came into this game as the Big Ten leader in tackle for loss. He adds 2.5 more to that total, extending his lead. But man, he has been all over the field today.
Fake to Maurice Washington. Catch by Stanley Morgan Jr. And you see that now. He has 182 career receptions, the most all-time in Nebraska history. Here's Washington. Washington busts a tackle and brought down at the 35.
Well, this offense is feeling it. You can see it on the offensive linemen. They're ready to go. Their body language is stout. They're playing with energy, and it was good to see Stanley Morgan back because he did leave the game earlier, getting a little banged up with his right leg. So he's setting records here, coming back to help his team.
10-yard pickup. They're now at the 35 of Michigan State. Martinez looking downfield. Morgan out of bounds.
the last 2 drives, they have to be careful going back. They've been successful, picked up a first down, and then all of a sudden they get an incomplete pass. They don't get a lot of chunk yardage on second down, and they're facing third down the last 2 drives. So they got to be careful here after that incomplete pass on first down. Call something safe. Give yourself something third and manageable.
2nd and 10, 6 minutes, 30 seconds left in this game. Here's Washington. Bounces it to the outside. Leaps a man and dropped at the 30. Tyreek Thompson forces him out of bounds. Look at the hops.
just like you did. He cleared him by another 3 feet, it looked like. Holy cow. Check the vertical on him.
You're lying. Maurice Washington ought to run the high hurdles. 3rd and 5 now. Martinez. Good open field tackle. But Andrew Dowell.
Let's take another look at the hops from the freshman from Stockton, California.
Woo! Oh my goodness.
He jumped too high.
To be young and athletic again. My goodness. So they're going to go for the field goal. Barrett Pickering. This is going to be from 47 yards out. He's going to have the wind with him. His career long 36. He hit it earlier. The kick is good. A new career long for the freshman. And Nebraska gets their first lead of the game with 5 minutes left.
Unbelievable. And keep in mind that he got his first start just last week. And that thing was right down the middle. That's a happy Scott Frost there.
Yes,
and what a turn of events. This 4th quarter has been all Nebraska.
Coach D'Antonio, not a happy camper. 88,000 here in Memorial Stadium. They have sold out every home game since 1962. An NCAA record. 368 consecutive sellouts. Pickering kicking things away. Here's Hayward. He lets it roll to the back of the end zone. Well, an NFL football Thanksgiving feast will be served up on Fox. Bitter rivals battle. Adrian Peterson, division-leading Redskins. They land in Dallas to take on Ezekiel Elliott and those Cowboys. It all starts at 4 Eastern on Fox. You know, Nebraska, first 9 possessions, they ran about 45 plays, no points. Last 3 possessions, 18 plays, 76 yards, 9 points. They've got a 3-point lead. Lombardi, he's got plenty of time. And he's got a man wide open. That's Hayward down the sideline. And he's brought down at the 40. DiCaprio Boodle makes the stop.
Well, just how frustrating is that has to be. Nebraska's not even lined up. Look at these guys all standing around. They don't even know what the call is. They have no idea who to pick up. You see all these red jerseys flooding one area, and then Hayward just finds a soft spot, and Lombardi with enough time to deliver down the field.
34-yard pickup. You saw Antonio Reed fall down, too, in coverage there. But Darius Jefferson checks into the backfield. That was intended for Cody White. He had it, but dropped it.
We got an injured Spartan coming off the field as well, holding a little bit of a dead arm. You see just that ball is delivered right where it's supposed to be. Cody White has to make that play given the situation as well.
You've seen that look from the freshman a lot today. That's Darius Jefferson. You talked about that dead arm. That's the freshman. Lombardi 12 of 31 for 137. Again, plenty of time. Antonio Reed in coverage. It was intended, though, for Darrell Stewart.
And I wonder if Stewart ran the wrong route. As he finishes that route going up the seam, he sort of puts his hands on his helmet like, oh, what was I thinking there? I should have cut across that guy's face, helped my quarterback out. And here we go, 3rd and 10 here for Michigan State.
Oh, the crowd is into it here in Lincoln. Some more than others. Feels like 11. Snow flurries, wind. 3rd and 10. Lombardi under pressure and knocked down. Muhammad Berry applied the pressure. Luke Gifford knocked that football down.
Well, again, it's a little bit of confusion by Nebraska. Not quite sure who's supposed to take the guy in motion, but then you see Mo Berry just on a delayed blitz that causes Lombardi to have to throw that ball sooner than he wanted to. And this is an interesting call here as Michigan State in 4-down territory is actually going to punt this ball away.
Christop from his own 45. And into the end zone. So Nebraska will have 1st and 10 from their own 20. This is something I talked about just moments ago. The first 9 drives, no points, but the last 3, 9 points and the lead.
Well, and unfortunately in these situations, normally you'd say, hey, that's a win for the defense. One of those field goals was after a sudden change. Antonio Reed comes on an outside blitz, gets a sack fumble, but they can only get 3 points. Normally that's a win, but not in a game like this. We're dealing with the elements. Your offense is not moving the football down the field. 3 points is everything. Credit to Nebraska.
The chant, go big red, is a Zigbo hit behind the line of scrimmage. Dowell, the first guy to meet him.
Well, now Michigan State is just going to pin their ears back. You see everybody's going to attack their gaps. Everybody on the second level, the linebackers are shooting their gun right downhill in a blitz type of action. They know that Nebraska's going to run the football, and they're prepared for it.
Timeout here by Michigan State. They've got 2 left. A little over 4 minutes left in this football game here. For Nebraska, your approach. Backed up here, you've got a 3-point lead. What's your approach offensively?
Well, I think that you have to still run the football, and you haven't had a lot of luck throwing the ball down the field. If you do, look at the top of the screen. Stanley Morgan is the guy that they've been targeting a lot, especially here in the second half. If you're going to throw the ball, throw it to him.
The Zigbo in the backfield. And they were looking to set up the screen to him, but Michigan State had it.
And this is what happens when you don't run the ball, you can't run it with success. This is what Mark D'Antonio was thinking about punting the ball away in 4-down territory. He's like, I trust my defense. These guys are going to stand up. I'm going to have enough time on the clock if we can get a 3-and-out, and it looks like they're going to get that here.
Empty backfield for Martinez. They're going to go 4 wide. They fake the jet sweep. Martinez keeps it, and Willikis reads it, stops it. That's one heck of a football player.
He really is. And again, it's all about just being disciplined. I mean, the play's going away, and he knows that's not his play to make, so he just settles down, plays his responsibility, and the quarterback comes right to him.
8 tackles on the day for Kenny Willikis. 3.5 tackles for a loss.
So this is one of those moments now as a punter with the wind at your back. You're worried about this getting the ball as high as you can. Don't worry about trying to launch that thing at a lower angle. Get that thing up in the jet stream to get that ball to travel as far as you can, because field position is what it's all about right now.
Isaac Armstrong will be doing the punting. He's the junior. He's from Lincoln. He's had 6 punts or more. They've been 50 yards plus this season. 4th and 14. Sowers standing at his own 33. They're going for the block. Got a flag. And this one's down at the 40. Looks like we may have too many men on the field.
And we do. We had a Michigan State player running off the field, realizing he was the 12th guy, and he was about 2 feet away from the sidelines when that ball was snapped.
You can see the officials discussing it, Dan Capron and his crew.
There is no foul for an illegal substitution. The defense had the proper number of players on the field. First down.
So they pick it up. No foul. Let's take a look at our game summary here. The redshirt freshman Rocky Lombardi of Michigan State getting his 2nd career start. Martinez, the freshman, he's thrown for 145. Hayward has been the big offensive weapon here for Michigan State. 81 yards on the ground for him. Nebraska, 3 field goals. They've got a 3-point lead. Under 4 minutes to play. Over the middle. That's incomplete. He was looking for Matt Sokol. Trey Neal. Dedrick Young right back there.
Well, I tell you what, Lombardi has to stop telegraphing this stuff just because it's a primary read and that's where he's supposed to throw the ball. Look at all the red jerseys. Don't throw that football. Look to another guy. Go through your progressions, at least your 2nd progression to check it down or something. There are 3 red jerseys in the area. At this point in the football game, you can't afford another turnover.
2nd down and 10. From their own 37. Swings it out to Hayward. And he's upended by Neal.
When Trey Neal knew exactly what was coming, he saw his key in the backfield. You could see him reading the quarterback's eyes the whole time, saying, like, I know, I got you, I see you out there. I'm just going to let you go ahead and throw that football, and I'm going to come down to make the tackle.
This is Big Ten football here. Big boy football. 3rd and 6. 3 minutes left. 3-point football game. He keeps the football. Got a first down. Brought down at midfield.
Well, you just had a feeling that they were going to have to come back with the quarterback run game. They had a lot of success at the end of the first half with this type of play. They didn't run it really at all in the 4th quarter, and when they needed a play, they give the ball to Lombardi on a draw.
Here's Lombardi again. That was intended for Cody White.
Lombardi's pass is incomplete, intended for number 7, Cody White.
You can see now the snow covering the field a little bit. We've already seen a number of players slipping and sliding. It's going to get even worse. So some of these short, quick stop routes, asking these receivers to stop on a dime and turn around is going to be awfully difficult.
2nd and 10 from midfield. Under 3 minutes to play. Elijah Collins in the backfield. Lombardi. Quick slant. Incomplete. It was for Hayward. Trey Neal again, and Lombardi is now 1 for his last 8.
Well, and there's basically been no drop back pass. So these defenders now are just sitting on the 3-step. They're not getting too antsy. They understand that I can stay flat-footed. Once the quarterback declares where he's going to throw, that's where the ball is going to be thrown. You break downhill and make a play.
3rd and 10 for the Spartans. Right at midfield. Lombardi. Incomplete. Cody White was his intended target. We got a flag, though. Lamar Jackson in coverage.
Well, did he use his body to climb up over the top?
Pass interference. Defense number 21. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Lamar Jackson has been picked on a little bit today. I feel like he's risen up for the most part. You'll see him on the outside here. There's the hold. And that's about all they can call him on, is just a few yards past that legal chuck area. He was holding on a little bit too much because the actual play on the football was clean.
2 minutes, 47 seconds left in this football game. Huskers trying to hold on to a 3-point lead. Spartans have their faith in the redshirt freshman. Here's Lombardi. Hayward runs out of bounds at the 31.
You can hear the crowd still upset by that call. Obviously, it was a pretty soft call to me in these situations. Let these guys play.
2nd and 6 from the 31 of Nebraska. Over the middle, caught and dropped is Cody White.
That time Nebraska just mans up everybody on the outside. They had a man trailing the crosser. Understand that if I can just clear through the trash as a defender, even if that ball's completed, I got to be in a position to make the tackle.
Lombardi looking left, throws in and out of the hands of Maurice Nelson. The sophomore had it and dropped it.
Yeah, he had it. Nebraska brought a blitz up the middle. They're going to single up everybody on the outside, so somebody has to win for Michigan State. And Maurice Nelson gets right to the sticks, right where he needs to be. He just needs to make that play.
Is this it for the Spartans? 4th and 4. Under 2 minutes left in this football game. Down by 3. The redshirt freshman, the throw. Incomplete. Trey Neal. There for the Huskers. Sokol, the tight end. The intended target.
Well, again, you expect a lot of quick game out of this offense throughout this ball game. And Trey Neal, here he is, right there on the top right of your screen. He's going to sit on that slant route. He doesn't have to do too much other than stick his right hand right in there and knock the ball out there from Sokol. And I tell you what, there was more contact on that play than the foul that they got Lamar Jackson for.
So now the Huskers take over. They try to milk this clock. And they give it to Ozigbo. Michigan State's going to call a timeout. And, you know, listen, coming up next on Fox, it only gets better. Crosstown rivals, USC, UCLA, and then Kansas will try to slow down their red-hot offense of Kyler Murray and 6th-ranked Oklahoma at 7:30 Eastern. College football continues all day long on Fox. You can watch anywhere on that Fox Sports app. How about Les Miles?
Is that official? I don't know.
Jayhawk, maybe?
Maybe. That's the hot rumor.
Huh? We were there a couple of weeks ago, and that was all they were talking about in town.
I know it. I know it. You know, sometimes those rumors, you just never know if it's how valid they are and all that stuff, but it sounds like it's going to come to fruition there for Kansas and that football team.
3-point lead. It is frosty here. You see the wind, the snow coming down, and it's 2nd and 5. Martinez to Ozigbo. Ozigbo cross the 40. First down.
And that's exactly what they need in this moment. You need to pick up a first down, do it in a manner that you're going to keep the clock moving, Michigan State with no timeouts. This game is over.
Yeah. Big Red. Looking to win their 4th out of their last 5 games. Scott Frost has changed the culture here in Nebraska. And this looks like a program that's going to really make a mark here in the Big Ten in the years to come.
Well, I tell you what, he has talked about how this team turned a corner after the loss to Purdue. He said guys are starting to buy in. They're starting to understand that the work that they put into during the course of the week is going to pay off on Saturdays. And he said guys are starting to believe. You saw this team that didn't give up. Imagine what this football team is going to look like as they finish out this season really, really strong going into next year.
Frost, just the 5th former Husker who's returned to become Nebraska's head coach. Led the team to a national championship back in 1997 when he was quarterbacking this squad. And not the best athlete in his family. It's probably his mother, Carol.
That's right.
She was an Olympian in 1968, but how about the comeback as Nebraska knocks off Michigan State? Scott Frost gets his first victory as head coach over Michigan State. This team started 0-6. They've now won 4 of their last 5.
Well, he keeps talking about he wants to bring toughness back to Nebraska football, and that's not just physically, that's mentally and emotionally, and these guys showed it today.
Michigan State now 6-5 on the season. The final score here from Lincoln, Nebraska 9, Michigan State 6. For Ben Lieber, Alex Curry, I'm Brian Custer. Coming up after this short break, we'll send you back to Los Angeles for more post-game coverage. Thanks for watching, everyone.